Hi everyone, my name is Angelica, and together with my group members, Kate, Sue, Anita, and Elena, we focused on teaching in democratic citizenship education. So we decided instead of just reading about it and writing about it, we decided to do it in documentary form. So we actually interviewed current and retired teachers, both from Windsor and other places, and put everything together, so we hope you like it.
Can you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your experience as a teacher?
I am Titus Gunther, and I am a recently retired professor from Canadian Mennonite University. But my background is from the Third World. I was born and raised in Paraguay. Had my early schooling there, which was still very much the standardized education approach that I experienced.
My name is Karen Lowen-Gunther, and I'm from Manitoba. And my teaching experience has been mainly with adult newcomers to Canada. I started teaching women in a community-based setting where young mothers would come who had young children, and they would come several mornings a week to learn English.
My name is Finney Cherian. I'm an associate professor here. Before coming to Windsor, I taught in Providence, Rhode Island, in the Faculty of Education there. And then before that, I taught at the Ontario Institute for Studies in Education, where I did my PhD, and I was an instructor. And then I was a classroom teacher in the Jane Finch community of Toronto for about 10 years.
My name is Carlos Correa. I am an ESL teacher here in Windsor. I teach adults that come from all over the world. This is an initiative that is supported by the federal government and the provincial government. And I've been doing that for about 10 years.
Do you think that democratic citizenship education is important? Why or why not?
Absolutely. One, it's an ideology for some to study, but for an immigrant family like mine, it was what drew them to this country. That irrespective of one's race, class, or gender, Canada offered an opportunity for me to participate in a strong public school system that offered me opportunities and choices beyond any sort of socioeconomic characteristics. And so, yes, it's an ideal that drew my parents and many, many other people to Canada and the U.S.
Certainly the model of, we had very, very diverse classrooms, so we needed to find a way to accommodate different styles of learning, different levels. Most of the students came from a very standardized model where they would memorize a lot.
To be honest, I don't really think about the concept itself much, but I am aware that I use it all the time in my classroom. I teach an intermediate level in ESL. Because I have students from all over the world with a variety of backgrounds, educational backgrounds, work backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, and so on. And I think one of my objectives is to make sure that everybody's opinion, experience, and ideas are welcome in the process of learning.
Do you think that democratic citizenship education has been successfully incorporated into Ontario classrooms?
Yes. First of all, I had to discover it myself as I was studying Latin American lines of thinking, especially the early thinkers of Don Helder Camara, Camilo Torres, and in the educational department, Paulo Freire, who influenced a lot of the Latin American critical thinkers. And I think it's vitally important that people learn to treat knowledge not as a positive content that you pour into somebody, but rather something that arises from the experience of life, and that you should also be able to translate into practical application.
Absolutely not. I think it's something that is given a lot of lip service. I think there are many wonderful educators who make it a central part of their philosophy, so it becomes a central manifestation in their programs. But if you look at Ontario schooling in general, and you look at the standardized curriculum practices and testing that has occurred, it really calls to question, do we really believe in democratic ideals? And what are our priorities in education? And I would say I'd give it a failing grade.
Bonus question. Do you personally feel you can live out the democratic citizenship education model in the Faculty of Education?
No, not at all. And so what happens is when you have educators that are not allowed to live out their value systems, they start to become cranky. They start to look for a yesteryear when they were able to do those things. Right now at the Faculty of Education, as a faculty, I believe we're still trying to wrestle with what our identity is. What are the things that we believe in? And so if we haven't worked out those things, then we instill within you folks an ideal that you can't see manifested in our own lecture halls at times. And then when you go out to student teaching, it becomes all about the curriculum, and that democratic education stuff is for your issues prof or the faculty. And so if we are to really help you prepare and value those ideas, you are the most important resource as educators going into the classroom. It's incumbent upon us to, one, make you aware of those ideologies, share the power of them, benefit with them, but also help you to live them in your development as teachers.
The presence of diversity in classrooms is something that has always been there. The issue is not its existence, but how it is regarded and engaged. It is time to assimilate, that is, afford equitable access, in part by structuring collective experiences in ways that all can make meaningful contributions. Difference is vital.
Diversity is a source of possibility, and so individuals and collectives alike will benefit when it is properly woven into the fabric of schooling.
So we hope you enjoyed our documentary. We found that it was interesting for us to do an assignment in this way instead of a standard paper form, because we all got to use our strengths, and some of us are good at researching material, some of us are good at interviewing, some of us are good at doing all of the video editing and that. So it was a neat experience for our group, and we love being able to interact in a different way with the material, and especially in our interviews with current teachers as well as retired teachers from our community. We really loved hearing about their experiences, and we thought that was a wonderful way to learn. So thank you so much for watching, and we hope you learned something.
How will your teaching philosophy empower us?
And I am stuck. I'm sorry.
I hope you enjoyed our documentary.
F.